Hello guys, Times here, welcome to a new video, and today I'm gonna explain to you the iPhone from scratch. Okay, so yeah, in this video I'm going to show to you every single app of the iPhone and every single function and everything. Now, it is impossible to show you absolutely everything, but I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna do a comprehensive look of every single app and yeah, every single main function. Of course, yeah, if I were to show you everything, this video is already long enough, but if I were to show you everything, it would be like a 60-hour video, which is not possible either for me nor for you. So yeah, I'm gonna show you the basics. If you have any questions, you can leave me down below in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Also, there are chapters. Yeah, you can see them in the line down here, so you can jump specifically to the app or the part that you want to know more about. Or if you are new to the iPhone, you can just sit back, relax, grab some popcorn and watch the video with me. But yeah, also feel free to just watch it in bits. So if you want to watch 10 minutes today, then 5 minutes tomorrow and stuff, you will still get the stuff. It is even better if you watch it on your laptop or your computer and you can have the iPhone next to you and you can try the stuff that I show you at the same time. And yeah, other than that, I will try to make it as smooth and as entertaining as possible. Of course, it's gonna be a long video. There's no way around that. This video was a huge effort. So if you learned even just one thing, please thumbs up. And if you found it super useful and you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe, because that's exactly what I post. But yeah, enough of me talking here like the talking head. Now let's jump into the iPhone tutorial. Okay, so first up we'll start with the basics. So the first thing is the controls. So you basically control your iPhone mainly by doing this in different ways. So for example, if you're in an app and you want to go out, then you can just go out. If you want to see your most recent apps, you swipe up and hold, and then you see all of these, and then you can close them. You can switch between the most recent apps just by doing this, and you can go all the way to one side or the other, so that's very convenient. Then you of course will have the famous Siri, and to invoke it you just press and hold on the side button and you will see it popping here. You can also just say "Hey Siri" and it will launch. To see your notifications, you just swipe down from the top and they will appear there. And to see Control Center, you swipe up from the top right. So the notifications is top middle and top left, and the Control Center is top right. So here you have a bunch of functions. Most of them you can click to see more, such as all of these or the music, all of that. And this at the bottom can be customized. I will show you how to do that later. And here in the middle you can see your HomeKit accessories if you have any. Then to take a screenshot you need to press the side button and the volume up button, and you will take the screenshot. And then you can see how it appears here, and then you can do several things. So first of all, you can drag and drop it to paste it in another app. So if you go for example to Notes and create a new one, you can just paste it here. So that's very convenient. But also, if you click and hold, it will automatically bring the share sheet, so you can share it to whoever you want. And if you click it, you get even more options. So you can delete it from here, you can draw something, you can erase what you just drew, you can share it of course, you can go back, you can go forward. And then, for example, in Safari, you can take a full page screenshot. So you will get a screenshot of everything, all the content that's there, not only what's showing in the screen. Then once you're done, you can say done, and then you have the option to save it to photos, to save the PDF to files. We'll see the app later. Then you can copy and delete it or just delete it altogether. And then inside the home screen, that's what you can see here. Here's where all of your apps are, and you can have widgets. So in order to customize this, you just press and hold wherever, and you will see that they all start to wiggle. In order to add new widgets, you click this button right here, and then you have many different types of widgets. So some of the native apps and also some other apps, like third-party apps that you can download, have widgets for the home screen. In order to add them, you just select the app you want. So you get some recommended here, and in order to add them, you just select the app you want. Some of them offer different sizes, and then yeah, to add them you just hold it and just place it wherever you would like. Then another thing with the widgets is that if you have several of the same size, one on top of each other, you can create a stack. And that way you can swipe between all the different widgets that you have very easily. There's also the smart stack, that's the one I have here. And that one will automatically rotate based on what it thinks it's more important to you. So if you have an upcoming calendar appointment, it will show you the calendar widget. If it has a new memory from photos, it will just show it here like it is, and stuff like that. Then all of these apps that you see here, even the predefined ones that come with your iPhone, you can just delete them. So some of them you can delete altogether, for example Notes, you can delete the app and then you will be able to re-download it from the App Store, or you can delete it from the home screen. So if you click remove from home screen, it will be deleted from this view. Now where does it go if that happens? Well, it goes here to the app library. This is where all of your apps can be seen and they're grouped into intelligent folders. Yes, you saw you can swipe down to search. That works both in the app library as well as in the home menu, which is really useful. I never see the app library when I need an app that's not here, I just search it. Okay, so that was everything from the lock screen, from the home screen. Now let's go to the lock screen. So you can see that just by doing press and hold on the lock screen, it will go to show you all the different lock screens that you have. So you can create several, and yeah, for example with just a photo that there is, or some are featured here. You can add widgets as well here, which are different from the ones you just saw, but you can customize it like you want. There are also some intelligent ones, or some of these astronomy ones. You can even get from the location you're in, all of that. And you can switch between them, yeah, just by doing like this, and all the new ones. Then also in the lock screen by default you have access to your torch and to your camera. So you can access the camera either by clicking and holding this button or by swiping right from here. So here of course you can see the camera and take pictures. We'll take a look at that one later. But yeah, now that we've covered all the basics, we'll go app by app and show you what's different about them, what you should know about them and everything. So first up, we'll start with the phone. So the phone app is just your basic phone app. It calls, it allows you to be called, you can see all your contacts here, you can add some of them to favorites, you can see your recent calls. And then there is something that's interesting, that's the voicemail. So here by clicking voicemail, you can access your voicemail, and something that I don't know if it's available in all countries or with all carriers or providers is the automatic voicemail. So what this will do is that if you receive a call and you don't pick up and the caller sends a voicemail, you will see a live transcript of the voicemail as he's talking, and if you find that's interesting, you can just pick up the call and answer the call like normal. So as I said, that's something that it's probably not available in every region or carrier, but it's something that you can do with the phone app. And next up, we'll go to messages. So messages is both your SMSs and iMessage. So the way to differentiate them is blue bubbles versus green bubbles. I'm sure you're aware of this. But yeah, for example, this one you will see that if I want to send this message, the send button is green, whereas if I go to this message, for example, you can see that the send messages that I send are blue. So this is iMessage and the other ones are just SMS. Then the great thing about this is the apps. So you can have several apps, some of them like this one, Game Pigeon, even you can play games with the other person, you can play many famous games. This app is actually really nice. And there's also several apps, and one of them is really useful, it's checking. So this is built into the iPhone, and you know this when you say call me when you get home, sometimes the person forgets or something happens, so this automatically will alert the other person based on the parameters you set. So you can see here that I can change the time or when I arrive, etc, etc. Now if you want to know more about this, I have a video with some new features of iOS 17, you can check it out right here and you will see everything. Next up, we'll jump to Wallet. So Wallet is where you can have your credit cards or debit cards for Apple Pay. By the way, in order to use Apple Pay, you just click twice on the home button and the card will appear. But yeah, besides the Apple Pay cards, you can have other things here, such as loyalty cards for airlines or even some shops, and boarding passes for trains, airplanes, etc. Also with participating merchants, if you do a purchase on their website with Apple Pay, you will be able to see here the tracking of the shipping. Now this was introduced last year, and so far I have had no order that was included here, but I'm sure that slowly more and more merchants will join. Next is of course the calendar. Now the calendar is just a calendar basically. You can add your events, you can have everything, and if you want to add the birthdays that you can see that pop up here, you need to add them in order to be like a proper birthday. From the Contacts app. I'll show you how to do that later, of course. Also, if you have a location set for an event, when you hop in your car and activate CarPlay, you will see it automatically guide you there. Also, if you have this location, it will automatically tell you when you need to leave according to traffic and everything, so you're not late for the event, which is really convenient. But yeah, besides that, you have different views. You can see all of your events. You can see this day view, that's my favorite. If you go back, you can see the month view, and then you have a mixed one, that's the month and the events. You can switch by all of that. Then you can also see other calendars that you have from your Google account or whatever. You can have shared calendars, etc, etc. So it's a very complete app. Next up is weather. So this is your typical weather app. It will tell you based on my location right here, or if not, you can have several cities saved. In order to add a new one, you just search for the city here and then you can add it. Another interesting thing is that you have some weather alerts here, so whether there's fire weather or some storm or whatever, it will appear here. Then you can also see per hour, per day, and then you can see maps, which is pretty cool. And you can see some more data here. So this data is very rich. You have like visibility, sunset and sunrise, feels like, the wind, the moon information, etc. But the super cool thing about this is that you can click on any of these and you will get more detailed information. That happens when clicking on any one thing. Next up is photos. So in photos you can of course see all your recent photos, and it's very cool because it's a very nice app and it has a lot of things, so let's dive right into it. So first up, you can see how I'm in library here and in all photos, and I can see all my photos. I can also pinch and zoom to see more or less photos at the same time. Then I can go to days, months or years, and if I go to years, you will see approximately what I was doing around this date in every year. Then this library, as I said, will show you the photos in chronological order, and then when we go to albums, recents, you will see the photos in the order that they were added to your iPhone. So for example, if you download a picture that has the metadata from an older date, it will appear the first one here because it was the last one to be added to your iPhone, but in the library it will appear wherever it was taken in time. Then when jumping in a photo, you can see that you can scroll through all the photos that you have here, which is nice. And then if you swipe up, you have even more options. So first up, there is some AI built in that of course it recognizes this as a landmark. This is the Eiffel Tower and it will show you more pictures about it. It has also a lot of hidden features. For example, it can show you, if you take a picture of the tag of a piece of clothing, it will tell you all the washing details, all of that. And then you can see all the metadata. The location, what camera it was taken from, etc, etc. And the super cool thing is that you can adjust this metadata from here. So you can adjust the time and date that the picture was taken. This is pretty handy because, for example, if you download a picture from WhatsApp, it will come with the date that you downloaded it, not with the one that you took it, but you can change it here. Furthermore, you can add some captions, and this is really handy to be able to search it. So my favorite one is taking a picture of the Wi-Fi password and adding some captions here like Wi-Fi password and everything. So when I search here, I can search just Wi-Fi password and it will appear right in here and I don't have to search for the picture. Then there is also text recognition built in. So for example, you can see this picture that has a lot of text. I can just select here and I have all this text as selectable text. Now you can see also here that I can translate it automatically. Very, very useful. And the cool thing is that this is also findable in search. So if I search for Leonardo da Vinci here, I should get that picture as a result. From iOS 16, I believe, this also works with video. Now in For You is where you have all the memories that the iPhone has created. So it creates these memories automatically based on the year the year you're at, the time of the year, what you were doing last year, if it's someone's birthday, etc. Then in featured photos, well, you usually have several photos. For some reason today I only have one. Then in shared with you, it's just pictures that people have shared with you specifically. And then there's shared album activity. Now this is pretty cool because you can create shared albums in order to share pictures from a trip or whatever with your friends, and this is really handy. Jumping to album, that's where we were before. You have the albums that you have created, these are on your device, the ones here at the top. Then down at the bottom you again have the shared albums. Then people and places, so in places you can see on the map where your pictures were taken. And people, it will automatically recognize the faces of the people that are in your photos, and you can give them a name or assign them to one of your contacts. Now what this will do, for example, is, as I said before, if you have the birthday assigned to that contact, it will create a video with all the photos from that person when it's their birthday. So that's pretty cool because you can just send them and be like, oh look, this video I made, and it was actually the iPhone. Then you have a bunch of automatically created albums here. So these are videos, selfies, live photos, etc, etc. Now this is created automatically, so every time you do a time-lapse it will automatically get added to this time-lapse album, etc. And then here at the bottom you have recently deleted and hidden. So these two are protected by passwords, you can see. So if I try to go to one of them, you will see that it requires Face ID to unlock it. Then lastly, on search, you can just search for anything. You search places, people, text that you saw in the photos, all of that. Even some AI, so if I look for fire, you can see fireworks, fire, etc. So it has some AI built in, so you can search fire, pets, smiles, whatever. Next up is mail. So mail is, just your normal mail. It has some of the basic features that are built in any mail client nowadays. The cool thing is that you can add all of your accounts regardless of whether they are Gmail, Outlook, whatever. I'll show you how to do that later, of course. If you jump to one of them, you have everything, like you can mark as read or unread, you can delete them, you can filter by unread, you can just write a new email, etc, etc. It also has the feature built in that you can unsend the messages shortly after they're sent, so that's pretty cool. And this is actually my stock mail app that I use. Next is the App Store. Here, not much to say. You can download apps. Basically, that's all there is to this. And you can also update the apps. So here you can see all your apps that need updating. I just updated them actually, so I don't have any new ones. But by default, they will update automatically. Next up is files. So files, just like mail, is pretty cool because it groups all of the apps together. So you can see here that I have iCloud Drive and Google Drive. You can also have Dropbox, OneDrive, etc. Similarly to photos, you have recently deleted. Then you also have things that are on your iPhone, so they're not in any cloud, they're on your iPhone. And then you can group things by tag, etc. You can also search for documents, of course. And then, you have shared, that are things that have been shared with you, and recents, that are the most recent documents you've viewed or edited. Now in iCloud Drive, by default, you have 5 GB. You can pay monthly to get more, but by default, 5 GB are for free. And the useful thing about this is that if you have a Mac, the documents and desktop folders will automatically be uploaded to iCloud Drive, so you can see them from here, which is pretty handy. Next up is notes. So we already had a small hint at this one before, but as you can see, these are the notes. It's very good because it allows you so many stuff. So I won't go in depth because I could make a whole video about this. But you can add lists, just to do lists and stuff. You can draw something. You can even put like a ruler to draw more straight, stuff like that. Then here you can also add tables, you can change the style, so for example title. Then something very useful is that you can scan documents. So here you have scan documents, and that's super useful because if you take a piece of paper, you can scan it and it will appear like something that has been scanned, not just a picture of it. Now this Notes app is very useful, especially on the iPad, because with the Apple Pencil, of course, the drawings will be better. Another cool thing is that you can share the notes, as you can see here, with people that have iPhone or iPad or Mac or whatever. So you can collaborate on a note together. For example, if you're going on a trip, you can plan your trip on the Notes app and you can both write on the note at the same time, kind of just like Google Drive. And the last super cool thing is that you can lock the note with Face ID. So if I click lock and enter my face, it will be locked and it will require Face ID to open it the next time. Then also here you can see that you can see all the notes. You can pin some at the top so they don't go down, because these ones will be sorted in order of creation. But yeah, you can pin some at the top so they're always there. And then you can create folders and everything to sort the notes. And you can add tags to the notes in order to be able to find them more easily. Now if you see Gmail here, it's because you can also import the notes of your Gmail account that you have, yeah, like your Google Notes, you can also view them here. So that's really handy. But that's pretty much Notes in a nutshell. Now let's go to Apple TV. Now this is super confusing because Apple TV is three things. We have the set-top box for your TV, that's called Apple TV and will basically turn any TV into a smart TV. We have the Apple TV app, which is this app right here, and we have Apple TV Plus, which is a streaming service by Apple. Okay, so this thing that you see here is the Apple TV app. So in Watch Now, you have a bunch of things, some of which might be from other streaming services that can integrate with this Apple TV app. So for example, this Hitler thing or Churchill thing are from, I don't know, maybe Prime Video. Yeah, they're Prime Video, it says right there. Then you have some live matches from Apple TV, etc, etc. Then if you pay for the subscription of Apple TV Plus, all the included content will be able to see here. So all of this is the Apple TV Plus content only on this tab. But then you can also buy and rent some movies, kind of like in Prime Video. So if I go here to Barbie, you will see that I can buy it or rent it here. Then here in Library you can see any movies that you've purchased. And another super useful feature is that if you go to search, it works especially for movies. I don't know if it works for shows in the US, but at least for movies it works. Is that, for example, if I go to Indiana Jones, you can see here where you can watch it. So of course you get the option to buy and rent it, but you have all the other apps or streaming services that are showing the movie. So that's really nice. Next is the calculator, and this one I wasn't even gonna show, but yeah, it's just a basic calculator. The cool thing that it has though is that if you turn it, it becomes a scientific calculator. That's literally everything that there is to show about the calculator. Next up is FaceTime. So you might be familiar with FaceTime, you might have heard it before. It's basically a video calling app. So you can just create a new FaceTime and just call whoever. You can create a link to schedule a meeting. And yeah, this works with iPhone, iPad and Mac. So you can call someone on their Mac, etc. You can also, if you have several of those devices, you can switch to either of these during a call. And then it has some neat features such as SharePlay, for example, where you can watch a show together or play a game with supported apps. Now you might need to activate this first time you're gonna use this in settings, So I will show you how to do that next. Because the next app is settings. Now here I could do another 1 hour video about this app specifically, but I will just show you a couple that I think are useful. Now the first time, as we just talked, in order to activate FaceTime, you need to scroll down and go to FaceTime. And then here you will see a list of phone numbers and emails. You can just select the ones you want and you can be reached at those. Then here in caller ID, it is the main one that will be shown when you call. If you go to the messages menu, similarly, you can activate iMessage there and also select which phones you want to be contacted in, etc. Then passwords is really useful because it's a password manager. So it will automatically sort all the passwords, and as you can see, it is protected via Face ID, so not anyone can enter. And then, yeah, it will automatically fill them in Safari. You can check the passwords individually, you can ask Siri, etc. Then here, if you go to Mail, and then you go to Accounts right here, you can see all of the accounts that you can add for the Mail app. However, in here, for each different account, you can see how you can set it to include the mail, the contacts, the calendars, the notes. So that's pretty useful because you have all the granular control on each individual account. Another cool thing is that if you add a new account, you have all of these services available. So you can of course add Google or Gmail accounts, you can add Outlook, and you can add all of these. Going back to the main settings menu, if we scroll back up, so we start here, okay? We scroll a bit down and we go to Control Center. Here we can customize this part at the bottom that I said at the beginning that was customizable. So here there are actually some very useful ones, such as for example music recognition, that is Shazam just built in. There's the torch, there's screen recording, there's low power mode that will disable some of the functions in order to preserve battery better. And yeah, those can be added and rearranged from here. Now I like to have 2 rows in here, but you can have as many or as little as you want. And then you can also add some settings to the back tap. So if you tap twice or 3 times the back of your iPhone like this, you can have something set to do that. So that's really useful actually. You can just search for back tap right here and you will get that function to customize it. And the last thing I want to show you in settings, of course this is huge, you can spend some time looking through this and you will find 1,000 of new things. But the last thing I want to show you in here is focus modes. So yeah, focus modes are different modes for your iPhone. So for example, Do Not Disturb, of course, is the default one. What this one will do, yeah, you can customize every mode basically. So you can say for every mode who you want to allow that to contact you, which apps you want to allow to send notifications. You can customize your home, your lock screen, and your Apple Watch watch face. You can set a schedule automatically, so when you're at work, for example, you can add a schedule here for it to automatically trigger. There are also other ways to automatically trigger the focus mode. For example, if I go to this gaming one, in this one, for example, it's a different one. You can see that I have allowed phone messages and FaceTime to come through, and it automatically activates in one of these instances. So it's basically if I open any game or if I connect a wireless controller, because yes, you can connect Xbox, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch controllers to the iPhone. You can also set this to activate automatically via location. So for example, the work focus it automatically activates when I go to the office. And then a special one is sleep. You will see that this one is a bit different. This is because it's tied with the sleep schedule in the health app. We'll see more about that later. But yeah, now also this one is a special one because it will automatically track your sleep on the Apple Watch when this one is activated. Now another cool thing about focus modes is that it will show your contacts in iMessage or messages when you have one of them activated, so they know that you have notifications silenced and you might not respond. But yeah, that was settings. As I said, there are thousands of settings. I could spend 3 hours on a different video just talking about settings. If you want to know a bit more, I did a video on some new settings for iOS 17 that are useful and you probably should change them, so you can watch that one up here. But next is music. So here in music you will be able to see Apple Music. Now what happens if you don't have Apple Music? You can also see the music that's downloaded into your iPhone. So you can download music via computer, via iTunes or via the Finder in Mac, and you will see that music that's locally saved in your iPhone here. Yeah, if you have Apple Music, basically it has all the features, radio, browse, listen now, etc. You have all your content here. You can edit to see which ones you want to see here. So if you want to see the songs or the genres or whatever, and then you have the now playing here. You have this little icon here that you will have seen that it replicates all throughout the UI, and that is for playing in another device. So this will only show AirPlay devices, so HomePods basically, or an Apple TV or other AirPlay enabled speakers. You will see your AirPods here or your earphones or whatever when you have them plugged in and all of that. But yeah, without going into too much detail, because that's specifically about Apple Music, and if you don't have Apple Music, I don't want to bore you, we're going to leave it right here. But let me know down below in the comments if you want me to make one video specific about music. Next up, let's jump into Maps. So this Maps is not Google Maps, it's Apple Maps, which in my opinion, it's actually better than Google Maps for a few reasons. So of course, it's just like any Maps app, you can get directions from one place to another, so you can just search here and you can find shops, restaurants, whatever. Now the super cool thing about this one is that in certain cities it has a lot of detail. So if I go, for example, to London, you can see how besides of being 3D, so I can just do like this and I will see everything in 3D, I can see some of the main landmarks modeled in 3D, super cool with a ton of detail, and that's pretty cool. Now that is not available in every city or region or country. Another thing that they have in some locations is look around. So if I go here, you will see this icon here. This is kind of Google Street View basically. And yeah, you can just see how it actually looks from the street level. And in some cities, such as London, they actually have directions in AR. So when you're on a walking route, you will see the directions in AR, which is pretty sick actually. So if you scroll up from here, you will of course see another few things. So first off, you can search, but also you can see another thing. So you can add your home details and everything from the Contacts app, and you can have your home, your work and everything, and it will automatically show up here, so you can just press a button and go there. Then there's the recents and everything, and there's the guides. The guides is really good if you're planning a trip, for example. So I recently planned this one, and you have all the things right here in one place. You can also share the guide with another person, you can add things, delete things and everything, so that's pretty cool. That's basically all the basic things for maps. Now let's go to Reminders. Now Reminders is an app that I actually had forgotten for some time, but I started using it again not too long ago, and it's actually really useful. Basically you can get it to remind you something. So you can create a reminder either here, or of course new reminder, or you can ask Siri, which in my opinion is the fastest one, because you can just say remind me whatever at this time and it will automatically add it. If not, you have to go here, you have to go to the eye, you have to select date, you have to select the date, then you have to select the time, etc. But what's really cool is that you can also have it remind you on a location. So for example, if you have your home added in contacts, you can say Siri to remind you something when you get home or where you leave home. And if you connect to your car via Bluetooth or CarPlay, you can ask it to remind you when you connect or disconnect from the car. Besides that, you can of course set it a priority. You have different lists. You can have them indented here. You can attach files or links in order to go easily. And yeah, it's a very complete Notes app actually. Okay, so next is Safari. And Safari is actually your web browser. Just like Google Chrome, you have Safari in here, which is the default one, though you can change it to be whatever you want. But I like Safari for a number of reasons. First of all, you can see all your tabs here. Then you can create tab groups. So for example, if there's a bunch of tabs that you usually open for work or whatever, you can have them grouped here. For example, I have my New Apple Times management stuff here, which is YouTube and everything. Then I have New Apple Times research with ideas for new videos and everything. So you can just normally navigate in this one, and then if you're working on some project or for work or whatever, you can go to the other one. Now for iOS 17, you can also have your profiles. So if I go to New Apple Times Management, it's exactly the same, but it will also have different cookies for everyone, meaning that you can have different accounts in the same website in each different tab group, which is pretty nice. Besides that, you can just navigate the tabs here, just kind of like you do with the bottom bar. You can do a bit further up and you can navigate the tabs from here. Then you can swipe up to see everything, etc. And also something that not many people know is that if you go here and do like this, you can add a new tab. So that was Safari for all of you. Next is Home, and Home is where you can control your HomeKit and Matter accessories actually. So even if it's not HomeKit but it's Matter, you can control it from the Home app. Now, this is for smart home, of course. You need to have special devices for that, so you cannot just control any light in your house. However, these are getting increasingly cheaper. At the beginning they were really expensive, but you can buy some smart plugs for as cheap as $10 or €10 or £10. So it's pretty cheap. And then you can have different rooms, all of your accessories here. You can have scenes to control different accessories at once. You can add automations. So for example, when a sensor detects something, just perform an action. And yeah, you can just ask Siri as well to control any accessory. Then you can also have different houses and everything, but yeah, this is a bit more advanced. Again, if you like me to do one video specific for the home app, just like this video to let me know. Now next is shortcuts, and this is actually an app that's very unknown to many people, but it's really powerful. It can do very basic things and very complex things. It just depends on how long you want to go. But it can do things as simple as just asking Siri for a specific command with a specific phrase, or just doing crazy things such as, I don't know, like actually programming stuff to happen. And actually, if you have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, you will have the action button here, and you can program it to be one Siri shortcut. So you can program whatever here. So for example, you can program it to open an app and map it to that button. But yeah, an example of I would say easy shortcut, but just to show you some of the power, I have this one for when I go to bed. The super cool thing is that this phrase right here is what you can tell Siri to trigger it, so you don't have to go in the app to trigger it, you can automatically ask Siri. And what it will do is set my iPhone brightness to 0%, set a scene from HomeKit, set my playback destination to one of my speakers, play one playlist, set the volume to 15%, then turn on Do Not Disturb, create an alarm for whatever time I choose, it will ask me. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very good way to do many things with just one simple Siri command. So it's a very powerful app. But again, I could spend 1 hour talking just about this app. If you want me to make a video about this app, please let me know down below in the comments. Next is Freeform, and this is actually a relatively new app. It came out in 2016, and I don't really know much about this one because I haven't used it much, but basically it is an infinite canvas. So yeah, you can collaborate with people or even just do things by yourself with an infinite canvas. So you can add text, you can add drawings, you can add pictures, you can add maps, you can add whatever to this canvas. You can also collaborate on this. So for example, I started one here to plan a trip. As you can see, it didn't go very far, but yeah, I'm collaborating with this one on my on this one with my girlfriend. And yeah, we can add photos, we can add arrows, we can say, okay, they won't go here and stuff. The very powerful stuff, again, is if you have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, but it's good that you're also able to view it on the iPhone and yeah, even edit it, like I did this one on the iPhone. You can just add a text field here, just double tap, enter text, enter something. Yeah, basically it's an infinite canvas, you can explore it by yourself. Now we're getting close to the end, don't worry, because next is Apple Watch. If you have an Apple Watch, this is your settings app for the Apple Watch. So you can change all your settings. You will see it looks very similar to the iPhone settings app, but you can also change your watch faces. So here you can select, yeah, from all the different types of faces that there are. You can select them here and add them to your Apple Watch. Next is fitness, and this is also especially useful if you have an Apple Watch, but from iOS 16, Apple actually made it useful for users who don't have an Apple Watch as well. So these are your 3 activity rings. The red one is calories, the green one is exercise, and the blue one is standing time. All of these are available with the Apple Watch, but from iOS 16, if you only have an iPhone, you can see the red one. So you can track progress on the red one, which is the calories. So that's cool. Then you can see all your workouts and stuff. And then there is Apple Fitness Plus, which is a separate subscription service where you actually have guided classes for kind of like the gym and stuff. Lastly, you can share your activity with people and you can just see what others are up to. Then you will see that I don't have any other stock app in here, and I'm gonna use this occasion to demonstrate the power of the focus mode. So if I go to focus and I select New Apple times time, that's a special focus mode that I have created, you will see that I get a completely different home screen, and that's because I customized this shortcut to give me a different home screen. And in this home screen, I have all the stock apps, just in case I need to do videos exactly like this one. But yeah, we'll start seeing the ones that we haven't seen so far. iTunes Store, this one, I swear I don't know why it exists anymore, because you can do 2 things, buy music and buy movies. Buy movies, you can buy them in Apple TV app, and buy music, well, you have Apple Music. So I don't know why someone would spend €1 on a song when you can pay 10 to have all the songs you want per month. But yeah, every time I think this is gonna disappear, but it doesn't end up disappearing, so who knows. Next one we haven't seen is clock. This is your typical clock, so you have the world clock where you can add different cities to see the time. You can of course set up an alarm, and you can add a label, a sound, etc., and have it repeat on certain days. You can of course start the stopwatch and add different timers. But yeah, the thing about this clock app is that I basically control it completely just by using Siri. So I can ask Siri to set an alarm, to set a timer, to start the stopwatch. I can ask it what time it is, whatever. So I rarely actually use this app because I do all of those functions with Siri. Now when you add a timer, they will show right here in the lock screen. And if you have an iPhone with the dynamic island, which is that little thing that has on top, it will also show there. Now this is live activities, and this is supported by some apps to show you information like game results for games that are being played right now, your information to go to your next flight, things like that. Next up is voice memos, and yeah, this is your typical voice memos app, so you can start a new recording to record, whatever voice recordings basically. The cool thing is that it will sync with all of your devices, so if you have a Mac, an iPad, etc., all the recordings will sync. Next is Find My. And Find My is actually really useful because it allows you to do a number of things. First of all, you can see all of your devices, so if you have an iPhone or a Mac, you can see it here. As you can see, I have a ton of them. You can also see your friends, so if your friends want you to see them, you can add each other to be able to see their location in real time, either indefinitely or for a specific period of time, which is good. And then you can also see items. So these items are the AirTags, and yeah, they are these little pieces that have a tracker, and basically you can see them here, and from there if you select one you can play a sound, you can find it, etc. But yeah, this is the Find My app, which is really useful, especially with the friends. And also if you want to see where your devices are, you can access this app via iCloud.com, which is really useful if you lose your iPhone, which we all hope you never do. But if you do, you know that you can access this via browser in any type of device, doesn't have to be an Apple device. So next up is Contacts, and Contacts is of course your regular Contacts app. And a couple interesting things to know here is that you can have your card. So in your card you can of course add your information, your number, your address. That's where you add your address for home, for work, etc., to see it in maps. And also something really cool is this contact poster. So this is a new thing from iOS 17, and you can basically customize how people will see when you call them. So you can have your profile picture that you will have seen in a lot of places throughout this video, and this exact page is what people will see when you call them. So that's pretty cool that you can customize it. And this same contact poster can be shared with someone if you hold two iPhones together by this part. So for example, if you do like this, of course with a more recent iPhone than this original iPhone, but if you hold it close like this, you will be able to share the contact poster, and you can just select whether you want to share the phone number, the email address, etc. And that's just a more modern way of just sharing your phone. But other than that, if you go to create a new contact, you can see how you can add so much stuff, like not only the phone number but also the email for the mail app. You can add ringtones, etc. This is where you add the birthday in order to see it in the calendar. You can add the addresses and all of that. But that was everything in Contacts and in this screen. Now let's go to some more. Now podcasts, just very basic. This is where you can listen to your podcasts. You can subscribe to some of them. You can add the ones you like. You can search for them. Just podcasts, similar to the music app but with podcasts. With books, you can have PDFs here actually, or actual iBooks or Apple Books, which are just actual books. There's the bookstore here where you can purchase the books, just kind of like an ebook basically. And this is more useful of course if you have an iPad, but it's also available on the iPhone, and it also supports audiobooks. Next is stocks, that I'm sure some people are really excited about this, but to me it's one of the least interesting apps at all in iOS. But yeah, you can control how your investments are going here. Next up is Translate, and Translate is very good because you can actually have conversation. So yeah, if I talk like this, you will see that it automatically translates it. So it's very good to talk with other people in another country where you don't necessarily know the language. You can also translate with the camera, so if you have a text in front, it will translate it. And the problem with this app is that it's very limited because not a lot of languages are added. Now, more languages will be added in the future, I'm sure, but yeah, at the moment it's a bit limited. But next, and you will see that we're getting close to the end, is Tips. Tips is useful because it will give you tips on some other features of the iPhone. So they have collections of, for example, this new one for iOS 17 showing you iOS 17 features. So you can learn even more about your devices here when you have time. What's cool though is that you will see how it detects what devices I have. So I have the Apple Watch, I have HomePod, and it will show you also tips for those devices. And last but not least, you can see the user guides, like the actual user guide for each of your devices here. Now, next is Health. And in Health, you can actually track your health data. So you will see there's a bunch of data that's fed in here. This is especially useful if you have an Apple Watch because it will automatically feed all the movement and the heart rate stuff and all of that. But other than that, you can see here my sleeping time. You can add data automatically or manually. So if you want to enter something, so for example nutrition, I have here the water I drink. Yeah, I also have a shortcut for automatically adding this, which I don't use anymore. You can see the last one is from the 25th of January. You can add a lot of health data here, which is useful. You can even track your medications. If you need to take some medications, it will send you reminders. If you have your cycle, where is it? Here, cycle tracking. You can track your cycle. And you can add other metrics such as weight, height, body temperature, etc. Of course, you can add them manually. And then here at the top, you will see my medical ID. Now this is useful because this can be accessed without unlocking your iPhone. So in the case of you having an accident, someone will be able to see this, to see, for example, your blood type if you are requested to have a blood transfusion, and you also can set emergency contacts here. Now, probably if you don't care a lot about this one, the most useful to you is steps right here. You know that some people like to see how many steps they've done in a day. You can see your steps here and your walking and running distance. But yeah, this is just another of those apps where I could just spend 1 hour talking about. But the best thing for these apps is that you go and explore them by yourself. Okay, so don't worry, we're getting close to the end, I promise. But next is the compass. The compass is probably also the least useful app because it's just a compass. Yeah, it will tell you where you're pointing. That's really related to the compass app. There is a very useful one in the Apple Watch, but this one doesn't really have much. Next is Magnifier, and this one is actually very useful. As I was preparing for this video, I remembered about this app. I showed it to my parents and they love it now, because if you have trouble seeing the small print or whatever, this can really help you. So I'm gonna put the camera in here just to do a demo. But yeah, you can see that it says menu here. Well, if you can't, you can zoom in and see it on your iPhone. So that's super useful. Yeah, for small print and stuff, you can even turn on the flashlight if there's not enough light and all of that. So very useful app, but it's even more useful to have it here in the control center because it's one of those things you can add here, and that makes it even more reachable and more useful. Next is the Measure app, and this one is actually pretty cool because it can measure using AR. So for example, if I do this from here to there, you can see how it measures 10 centimeters. Of course, it will be relatively accurate. It is more accurate though with those iPhones that have a LiDAR sensor, which is this little piece in here. This black thing that you can see is working at the moment. That's not reflections, that's actually the LiDAR sensor working. You cannot see that in real life, but you can see it through the camera. And what that does is basically do a 3D scan of the world around you. And other than that, we have the level. Now this is pretty cool because if you put it in vertical, it's like this, so it will show you if it's straight. So for example, if you're hanging a painting of the wall, and if you put it horizontally, it's yeah, how do I show you? Yeah, it's just a level to see if a surface is level. And last, I know, the last one finally, but not least, is the camera. Now the camera, yeah, there's a bunch of things as well. I could do a specific video about the camera, but I'll just show you the basics. You have photo here, which is just normal photo. Now I recommend you never zoom like this, because it will do basically a digital zoom, which is less quality. I recommend to stick to as many values as you have here. So yeah, depending on the iPhone you have, you will see more or less numbers in here, but I recommend to just stick to those. Then in portrait, this will blur the background. Yeah, it's more visible with a person, but yeah, you can actually see it there, how it's blurring the background, and you can change the lighting. Panoramic, you can do a panoramic, just press and then move your iPhone around to create a panoramic picture. Then in video, there's many options of how you can record. So yeah, you can change the resolution and the frame rate here. You can even change the format there, so it's Pro iPhones are able of recording in log, HDR, ProRes, etc. Then cinematic is kind of like portrait for video, so it will basically blur out the background and you can select what subject you want in focus even after shooting the video, which is pretty cool. Slow-mo just shoots slow-mo video. Now you can configure the frame rate that you want here in the settings app. And time-lapse will just do a time-lapse. So these typical videos that you see that are super fast camera, they're actually many different pictures, and it's automatically taken like this. Now if we go back to photo, if we swipe up, we have more options here. So there's live photos, which I always have on, because it will automatically capture a few more seconds of your picture, so like kind of like a short video. You have the flash here. You have, yeah, whether you want it for thirds, 16:9 or square. You can set the timer here and all of that. Yeah, as I said, play around with the camera, and if you want more information, you can leave me a comment below and I will do a video. Okay, so this was every single app of the iPhone. Yeah, I know it was very long, but before we actually finish the video, there is one more thing I want to show you, and that is CarPlay. Okay, so we're now in the next segment, and this is CarPlay. So CarPlay is a special interface that you will get in your car if you, of course, have an eligible car. There's two types of CarPlay. One of them is wired and the other is wireless. So if one of them is wired, what you need to do, of course, is connect a cable from your car to your iPhone, and you will get this interface. If yours is wireless, it's pretty much the same, but it will automatically connect without the need of a cable. There are some adapters to make the wired CarPlay wireless, but that's a topic for another video. So this is CarPlay, and this is basically an extension of your iPhone for your car. So as you can see, you have some of the apps. So this is kind of the screen I like to have. It's arguable whether or not it's the main one, but it's the one I like to have. You have the map here, and then you have your music, whatever it's playing, and then some map location. Then here you get your most recent apps. Here's some information like the time, the signal you have, and the battery. This is especially important for the wireless CarPlay. Now, if we swipe here, we get our apps. And there's a limited number of apps that are available here. Of course, the only available apps are those that are useful while driving. So we have kind of three kinds of apps: navigation apps, messaging apps, and listening to content apps, I guess. So in the messaging apps category, we'll have the phone, of course. We have messages, and then we have some third-party ones which need to have support for this, which are WhatsApp and Telegram. Then in the navigation apps, we have Maps. This is Apple Maps. If you have Google Maps on your phone or Waze, they also have CarPlay apps, so they will automatically appear here. And then, yeah, we do have some content apps. So these are only the ones I have installed. There's more than these, but there's Audible. We have, for example, audiobooks from the Books app we saw before, music. I'm sure there's also Spotify and all that. Now this main menu one that you see here is from the car. This returns to the main menu of my car, so that will depend on your car manufacturer. And then there's also the calendar, so you can add and remove events and everything. And settings, which you can customize the appearance, whether it's dark mode or you can change your wallpaper, etc. However, you will notice that these apps are designed to be controlled via Siri. So well, in music actually you can go and you can see what's playing. You can see yeah, you can choose the song. But the great thing is you can ask Siri. So there is a button. If your car is CarPlay compatible, you will have a button on the steering wheel to invoke Siri. And if I press it, pon música que me guste. You will see you can just talk to it.
Aquí tienes una emisora de radio creada especialmente para ti en Apple Music.
You will see that you can play music, and yeah, it's playing some music for me, which is great. But I'll pause it because I don't want a copyright strike. While we're here, you see, yeah, we have the play next, and we have this, which is new for iOS 17, and it's basically for others to be able to join your music session, and everyone can play music from their phone directly. You don't have to like be taking the driver's phone and everything. So if others have iPhone and or Apple Music, yeah, they can join the session. But yeah, that's all for music. In phone, of course, we have our contacts, our reason, our voicemail, etc. If I go to Telegram, you'll see that this is different, because this is kind of a Siri app. So the only thing you can do is via Siri. So you have, you have the options of reading your unread messages, writing a new message, or calling someone via Telegram. And basically you have to control that app using Siri. So you're not able to read your messages, because that of course would be taking your eyes out of the road, which is where they should be. So yeah, you probably saw it before, but you will also get notifications here if someone messages you. However, you will only get them from apps that are in CarPlay. So for example, I don't have Facebook Messenger here. I will not get the Facebook Messenger notifications. Messages works in a similar way. However, it's able to show you your messages, but if I jump to one of them, yeah, I only have the option to reply, and the same happens with WhatsApp. But yeah, this is basically CarPlay. Now in this main view, if you jump to one of the apps that's displaying here, it will take you of course to the app. And also, if you have some event in your calendar that has a location attached to it, you will see it popping here. Yeah, if you have an event or whatever, it will pop in here, just so you don't miss it. Okay, so yeah, now that's it. There is nothing else I want to show you. This was the whole video. Thank you very much if you stuck this long. As I said, please thumbs up if you learned at least one thing, because this video was by far the most complicated, the most time consuming, and the longest that I've ever done. So please thumbs up if you learned something new. Also, if you have any friends or relatives that just got their first iPhone, feel free to share this video with them, because yeah, even though it can be helpful for anyone, because I'm sure even if you've been using the iPhone for a long time, there's things in this video that you didn't know. But it's most useful for people that just got their first iPhone in their lives and don't know their way around them and everything. Also, there is this new app in iOS 17, that's the Journal app. Apple announced this app back in June, but as of today, there's still not released, not even in beta form. So I will do a new video when it is released. If you don't want to miss it, please subscribe. But yeah, I will also try to keep this video updated with new releases, iOS 17, 19, etc. So yeah, videos will be floating around here or in the comments or in the description if those have already come out. But yeah, that's gonna be everything for today. Thank you very much if you stuck this long. If you did, you can let me know down below in the comments. It would make me very happy. Please let me know also in the comments if you have any questions about anything specific that we just touched on here. I read and reply all the comments that I get, so yeah, I will see it and I will do my best to answer. Of course, there is the possibility that I don't know, but if I do know, or I will even do the research to reply to you. And yeah, as I said, please, if you learned something, thumbs up, and if you really liked it, you can subscribe for more Apple-related content. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.